Michael back here on U2 Guitar Tutorials on YouTube, continuing with our Beautiful Day updated tutorial. We're moving on to the chorus. We've covered the verse, first and second verse. And for the chorus, I haven't gone over my detailed presets yet, but I will film the AXFX and show you what it looks like, and I'll upload my presets to the group board. For the chorus sound, what I did was go through all the AXFX amp models until I found an amp model that I thought gave me the right tone, and then I made some adjustments. The amp model that I used on the AXFX was what is called the CA3 Plus LD. And then after I chose an amp model, I spent a lot of time picking a cab model, because the cab models can make a huge difference in tone. So obviously there are almost infinite variations. You could probably find this tone and this sound with a different amp model in a different cab, or an entirely different set of combinations, or you could use a drive model into a certain amp model and you can come close. There's so many ways to get these tones. Again, I just started with an amp model I liked and then went to a cab model. And the cab model that I used was the 4x12 Recto 1. So this is the CA3 Plus and the 4x12 Recto. Then what I did, and what I used as a guide, was one of the clips from a BBC interview with The Edge. I'm going to play it here real quick, and when it gets to the chorus part, you'll hear Edge playing alone on the guitar without the band, and you will hear the big chords. I listened to those chords and that tone, and then I modeled it as close as I could to the AXFX, and I made a couple other adjustments. Here's what it sounds like. You'll also hear the Edge playing the verse here at the beginning, and then I'll play it on this guitar, and you'll see that the tones are somewhat similar. But here's the Edge playing parts of Beautiful Day.
Dave Evans started a band with a group of schoolmates in 1976. These days, millions of fans know him as The Edge. And U2 are one of the biggest acts in the world.
Okay, then Edge went into the other riff there too. So if we first go back for a second, if you go back and listen to that clean tone and then listen to mine, it's awfully close. And then he switched to this big chorus sound. On the chorus, of course, we go to the bridge pup. Okay, I always get that mixed up for some reason. We're now here, and this is what it sounded. If you just heard what Edge sounded like, here's the tone I came up with. Now I got just a slight bit of delay there, just to make it so it's not too dry. But let's go back and play this again with the Edge's tone.
These days,
now mine's a little fuzzier. I listened also to the other live versions of the song, and sometimes it sounds like it's got a little more, it's a little heavier and a little fuzzier. So I just listen to different clips and I adjust my tone accordingly. This is probably one of the easier tones to get for Beautiful Day. It's just a big heavy distortion. On the studio version, Edge did not use his AC30 for this part of the song. Apparently he used a different, I think he used a high watt is what he said he used. If it wasn't a high watt, it might have been a Marshall, but I'm pretty confident it was a high watt. You could dial into your high watt model. I didn't find the high watt to really come close like that. I think in the clip that you hear Edge playing here, he's probably he could be using his pod and simulating the effect through his AC30 or one of his Fenders. I don't believe he's using a high watt or a Marshall there. So that's essentially what I used as a guide to get this tone. And again, I'll share the details later. So we've got our basic tone, the chords. We start here with an A. Now, I believe Edge does not play through the whole chord. I recall reading an interview where Edge said he liked to play just the top 3 notes of chords. He sometimes doesn't like to play this finger here on the 3rd fret, the G. But I'll show you what the differences are in a minute. But essentially, if you play through the whole chord, it sounds like this. You're going to hit those strings and you just don't hear those high-end strings in there. Right? So what I do is it looks like I'm playing the whole chord up here because I'm playing it as if I'm using my left hand as if I am playing the whole chord, but I'm really only strumming the first 3 strings. And just in case I hit the G string, there's a minor chord coming up here, so you want to lift this finger, and I'll show you where we do that. But you start with the A. Okay, now you're going to move down here to the B, and this is where you're going to lift this finger and make a B minor. Now, let me turn the distortion off for a second and go to a clean version so you can hear the notes better. This is going to be clean and without delay. Okay, here we go. Now, if you play the first 3 strings and go to the B, then you don't even have to put this one down. You're just playing, essentially you're just doing this. First finger, second, and then the pinky on those 3. Let's zoom in there for you. See that? Essentially, this is all I'm playing the whole. Okay. That's it right there. But I like to hold the whole chord down. It's just habit. I'm just playing, barring the whole thing. So you got the A, B, and it's supposed to be a B minor, but you're not playing the string, the G, that makes it a minor. If you do go over to the G, you want to lift this. So it sounds like this if you play the G string. So you got to lift, and you can't see it in my cover, or you have to watch very carefully. I'm lifting this finger when I get to the B. So it's A. I'm going to play through the G string here. There's a B minor. It's not this. Don't keep this middle finger down. See, it doesn't sound right. You got to lift it, and it goes like this. And that's going to happen at the end also when we're playing just 2 strings. You got to lift this finger right here. See? Let me zoom in. Okay, so we have lift right there. Now, that's just in case you hit that G string. If you don't have to worry about it. So essentially, we have, see, I lifted it and I hit the G there by mistake. I went too far, but that's okay. You don't want to go past the G string. And that's it. So we go A, B minor, D, and then up here, which is a G, then back to the D, and then the A. Now, what I do is use the cymbals on the drums and listen to when Edge is strumming, and you'll get the strumming pattern. So when you hear the cymbal crashing in the guitar, you'll see Edge is pretty much strumming when the cymbals is getting hit by Larry. And Edge kind of plays around with it a little bit. So that is the chorus.
Knock it off.